Okay, good. Then that being said, let's start with our session. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ESWC EU Project Networking Session 2021. My name is Michael Fribus. I am from Hannover, which is in North Germany, and I am working at the Leibniz University Hannover and the TIB, which is the research center that belongs to the university. Together with Alina Brokop and Gerrit Rosam, which are also here in the call, I have organized this session and I will be your host for today. So that being said, let's continue with the introduction itself. So this is a short wrap up how the session will look like. So each and every one of you will have 10 minutes for your project. The presentation itself should be 7 minutes, and then we should have a 3 minutes Q&A session. I would suggest that you please send your questions to myself with the Zoom chat. So we have a chat function here. And after your presentation, I may read out the questions, and then the presenter has the opportunity to answer to those questions. Please stick to the time plan. So after approximately 6 minutes, I will just briefly tell you you have 1 minute left, and then please try to finish your presentation as soon as possible. After 7 minutes, I will do a short cut if you need a little bit longer than that given time, and then we will proceed with the Q&A session. So yes. Please note that we will have 2 5-minute breaks in between. I will share the agenda in the next slide. And also please note that since you gave me the consent, this session will be recorded, and you, each and every one of you will receive the video recording at the very end, after the session, I meant, sorry. And the project presentations will be shared with you via email also after the session. In total, we have planned 2 hours for the networking session. So yeah, this is how our agenda looks like. So we are going to start with Sarah and the Cleopatra project. Afterwards, we have Julia and the Cross Justice project. Third one will be Marike and Odo Europa. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Afterwards, we will have a 5 minutes short break. Then we are going to continue with Eleftherios and the MUSICODE project. Then we have Beatrice and the 4CH project. On 6th will be Valentina and the Polyphonia project. Afterwards, we will have another 5 minutes break. And the last 3 presenters will be Alina and Media Futures project, Gerrit and the TRUSTS project, and me, myself, and the Platoon project. And at the very end of the session, we will have the opportunity to have a short feedback round of approximately 10 minutes, where you can share your ideas, feedback, comments, wishes, anything what you like. So that being said, do you have any questions so far before we start?
Yeah, so they need to raise their hand. If anybody want to ask a question, they need to raise their hand.
Okay, okay, yes, I'm trying to look up the chat function, whether we have there something. Okay, I'm just checking, is there anybody raising his or her hand right now? If there are any questions in between, just please feel free to ask me directly, and then I can try to answer them as good as I can. So if there are no questions so far, may I suggest you that we all turn on our cameras so that I can do a screenshot, and I can share it with you after the session as well, and you may use it for example, social media or in general for whatever you like. So, very nice. Very nice people here. Very good. Mariana, Abrail, and Endri, maybe you can also turn on your camera if you can, if you like. Or maybe you are a bit too shy. And Elisabeth is also here. So please turn on your cameras now, and I may do the screenshot now. Okay. Elizabeth, thank you. Mariana, Abiral, if you also may turn on your camera. If not, then it's also okay. Then I will just do a screenshot now. So now please look to the camera, make nice smiling faces, and I will do the screenshot now. So, okay, let's see. I will count until 3, and at 3 I will do the screenshot. So 1, 2, 3. Very nice, very nice. Okay, perfect, perfect. I did it. Very nice. Then I will save it just now. Very nice. If you want, we can do another one just as a backup, because it was so so fun just now. So once again, another screenshot in 1, 2. Sorry, this was not planned. Sorry. Okay, once again, 1, 2, 3. Very nice. Thank you very much. I think that should be it. So I will also save it. And then we can punctually start with our first presentation. And here we have Sarah. So Sarah, welcome first of all. And do you want to share your screen now? Maybe you can unmute yourself somehow.
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, yes.
Okay.
Hello. And we can see your slides, very nice. So okay. Please start.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. I'm a part of Cleopatra project and I'm going to introduce it to you. Let me start with some general information on this project. Cleopatra is a EU-funded project from the European Union's Horizon 2020. 15 PhD students here in this project working in different research institutions and 5 countries. You can see the logos of these institutions on the left and a nice picture of us on the right. I should mention that Cleopatra is connected to different partner organizations and stakeholders, such as libraries and digital humanities researchers. Now, let's move to the next point, which is the motivation behind Cleopatra. We all probably know recent events such as terrorist attacks, Brexit, and the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, which have extremely impacted Europe and the world as a whole. These events have resulted in a huge and growing amount of information, which are different in terms of the languages and the sources they are generated in. But the important point here is that this information has the potential to reflect how differently people think of an event across different language communities, and how differently the events are represented to them in the news articles. And this is the exact idea behind Cleopatra, analyzing these events by taking into account the mentioned differences. Now, I'd like to talk about the knowledge processing pipeline in this project, which shows how PhD students contribute to the project. We have 4 stages here, starting from extraction and alignment. We try to get an overview to the multilingual information. Next, we have validation and contextualization based on the extracted results from the previous stage. Then in the 3rd stage, we try to help with efficiently and effectively exploring and access to the multilingual information. And at the end, we have analytics. Some of my colleagues are working in this stage on very interesting topics such as politics, sports, information, propagation, and bias. Now that we have talked about the motivation behind this project, and I've showed you the knowledge processing pipeline, let's take a look at the accomplishments we've had so far in Cleopatra. The image in this slide represents one of the major contributions in this project. We have worked on different sources and languages, and the results, the extracted data sets, are successfully integrated into a knowledge graph, which is called OEKG. OEKG is a large-scale open event knowledge graph, which is publicly available to the users and researchers. Besides OEKG, we have other tools and demonstrators which are again publicly available in the Cleopatra repository. Now let's talk about OEKG in a bit more detail. Here in this table, we have different data sets in OEKG which are mostly developed during this project. Since we are pushed for time, I'm going to talk only about one of the data sets. EVentKG plus Click, the second data set, is a multilingual user interaction data set, which could be used for recommendation. Now I'd like to draw your attention to the domain column of this table, which shows that OEKG supports different types of information, such as images and text, as well as various applications like question answering, recommendation, and named entity recognition. I should mention that the core idea behind these different data sets, which enables it to get results to complex queries. I want to show how we could benefit from this integration of data sets by these 2 examples. Here on the left, we have the events related to the First World War and the locations of these events. And on the right, we have the headlines of news articles related to Brexit with their sentiments. Here we have only a few rows of this table, but you could see that the sentiment of these news articles are changing over time. As I mentioned earlier, these 2 queries are done by the integration of data sets in OEKG. I urge you to take a look at it yourself and try some other interesting queries to OEKG. And finally, this is one of the demonstrators in Cleopatra, which is called GeoVine. GeoVine is a geocoordinate estimation tool in which, by uploading an image or selectable images in the demonstrator, you could get the predicted location of the image on the map, as well as some other useful information, such as the Wikipedia label of the location or related events
1 minute
to
left,
it.
Sarah, sorry, 1 minute left.
Okay, and related events to the location of the image, which is done by connecting to OEKG or retrieving some news articles related to it. as you can see here in this demonstrator, in this example, the input image was Notre Dame de Paris, and the location and the label of it are correctly predicted by the tool. Let me skip the details here and ask you to try the demonstrator, the tool yourself, and refer to its paper to get some other details. And at the end, we have useful links of the papers, repositories, and tools I mentioned during this presentation, and the contact information here. Thank you for your attention. I'd be glad to hear your comments and answer your questions.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Perfectly 7 minutes. This is very nice. So, do we have any questions now? Please feel free to send them to me in the chat. I can see one question now. So, Sarah, how long is the project duration and what are the plans for sustainability after the project?
The project started in 2019, and if I'm correct, I think most of us started from July 2019. And I think that the idea behind the publicly available results of the data set is the plan after the project is ended. We have the results of our projects, the use cases we have worked on, and it's all available in OEKG and the GitHub repository. I have the links here in the last slide. Mm-hmm. And I encourage you to check them.
Yes, certainly. We will share your presentation as well as all the other presentations after the session. So, and yes, thank you very much for that. Good. Are there any other questions for Sarah? Please feel free to send me your questions via the chat function. So, Sarah, can you maybe explain which kind of stakeholder groups your project is addressing exactly? So just a couple of examples if you wish.
Go back to the slide I had. So we are working with digital libraries. We are working with British Library and digital humanities institutions. And the results as the multilingual analysis of different events could be interesting for different stakeholders. And from the top of my head, I can mention the digital humanity researchers and different libraries.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very nice. I would suggest that we now go on with the next presentation. So thank you very much, Sarah. And next we have, oh, sorry, I don't know why it is not working now. Excuse me.
Hello, Sarah, do you want to stop sharing your screen?
Yes.
Yes. Just excuse me for 1 sec.
Is it stopped?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Now. Okay. So we have next Julia and the Cross Justice project. So Julia, do you want to continue?
Yes, and it will be Alessandra presenting.
Ah, Alessandra, yes, very nice. Hello, Alessandra. So if you wish, you can share your screen now and then you can start presenting your project.
Where is Alessandra?
Alessandra seems not to be here somehow.
No, I think.
So,
no, he is. Unmute yourself, please. I was looking for.
Okay, now, yeah, sorry. It was like
Ah.
the guest is preventing you from opening the Microsoft. So
I was looking for your name. Sorry about that.
I couldn't talk. Sorry. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to share the presentation, first of all. Okay. So, good afternoon. My name is Alessandra. I am a research fellow in criminal law at the University of Bologna, and I'm here to introduce you to CrossJustice. The project counts 7 international partners spread all across Europe, including legal and computer experts, both from university. Sorry?
Share your screen, please. We can't see your slide up now.
Yes,
Oh,
Alessandra,
sorry.
please feel free to share your slides. If it's not possible, then I can do it.
No, I can do it. I can do it. It was just maybe, can you see it now?
Coming up.
Yes, we can see it now.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay. Now you can see it, no?
Go on, we can see your slide now.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. So I was saying that the project examines the procedural safeguards of the accused as recognized by the 6 EU procedural rights defensive, both as such and in their implementation at the national level. So CrossJustice examines the shortcomings in the protection of defense rights, aiming to develop a comprehensive approach for the translation into a computable language of the EU procedural directives and implementing national legislation and case law. In fact, starting from the general background, the protection of fundamental rights for persons accused or suspected of a crime is one of the main aims of the EU policy in the area of justice. However, the effective protection of those rights has been heavily affected by highly varying legal frameworks, which characterize member states' regulations. Therefore, CrossJustice focuses on the 6 EU defense directives that the European Union has started adopting in 2010 in order to harmonize and enhance judicial cooperation. In fact, in this peculiar field, legal actors often struggle to identify and which legislation and therefore which procedural rights are applicable in a specific case. That happens for different reasons. I would say, first of all, the linguistic barriers and also the peculiarity, the particular aspects of the different legal systems. For this reason, the project has examined 11 legal orders, asking how the directives have been implemented, what impact they had on the domestic criminal proceedings, how and if those directives has affected the very notion of fundamental rights at the national level. So the main goal of the project, of course, is creating one online and free platform which could provide automatic assessments and outcomes available to all the users. The idea here is highlighting potentially uncovered deficits of the normative text and enhancing a comparative analysis to foster the knowledge of legal professionals, but also law researchers, NGOs, and all the EU citizens which might be interested. CrossJustice aims to reach a deep analysis of the procedural safeguards to identify the shortcomings and remedies adopted at the national level, and of course, to foster and increase judicial cooperation towards Europe. So, at the current state, the platform is running and operative in its demo version. It provides 2 different modules. The first of one, you can see it here, is the legal database module, which supports the user information on criminal procedures. It improves common knowledge on legislation and case law, thanks to all the information gathered and uploaded by the researchers' partners. And in addition, it also helps amending the linguistic barrier, as national legislation and the main aspects of national case law have been all translated in English. Then the platform also includes a second module, the advisory module, which allows users to get practical advice on how to solve a specific case. So the platform starts from very general questions and reach more and more detailed answers in order to identify the national legislation applicable to the case, the current case law, and also providing the user a critical comment on the quality and the standards of implementation of the EU provisions. This second module also offers a mass testing, which is a tool aiming to support policy makers in evaluating the level of harmonization towards a comparison between remedies and solutions adopted at the national level. Well, considering the outcomes that we expect from the project, of course, is like increasing the practitioners' abilities on the issues related to the rights of persons suspected or accused of crime across Europe. Then we think that the platform could improve common knowledge on the legislation and the case law in judicial cooperation as for procedural rights are involved.
Alessandra, one minute left.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll be fast. And also strengthen the cooperation in the exchange of information between judicial and law enforcement when criminal rights are involved. So the project was like a 24-month work and is going to end next February. So from now on, we are planning to disseminate the results of the research, of course, advertise our research, but also continue challenging the platform. That's why the project's partners have arranged next summer and autumn workshops to ask legal practitioners and legal experts to test the platform and provide new feedbacks in order to continue developing and improving our work. So thank you so much for your attention. I hope I was on time, and I'm here if you have any questions, comments on or critiques on the project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Alessandra. Very on time. So do you have any questions, dear participants? Okay, we can. I can see here some questions. So, Alessandra, how and who can test the platform? Can you please elaborate more on that?
Of course, you can also try it. I guess that the slides would be shared with all the participants. So if you try the demo version of the platform, it's just open to all the users to go there and try to ask the platform how a concrete case or like an imaginary case can be solved, depending on when the EU defense directives are involved. So everyone who accesses the platform can try and discover how a specific procedural guarantees has been implemented in one among the 11 countries that we examined.
Okay, very interesting. So here we have another question, Alessandra. Besides policymakers, who is your key target group besides policymakers? Also civil citizens?
Yeah, of course, like civil citizens, if they're interested in the legal issues, but we are thinking more about legal professionals, I would say. So let's imagine a lawyer living in Italy and having a client who had a problem in the Netherlands and wants to understand how the procedural safeguards work in the Netherlands. He can ask cross-justice what's the national implementation of the safeguards guarantees, and how is the case law has dealt with the problem, and if also there are some struggles considering the quality and the level of national harmonization.
Okay. Here is another question. Do you also work together with the Easy Rights project?
I really don't know Easy Rights project.
Here is a link shared in the chat.
So we could, maybe in the future, I guess there would be like interconnection. Yeah, we would love to. Like one of the goals would be also like trying to develop the project, because we just considered 11 jurisdictions, could be a chance also to enlarge the research and to continue uploading and updating the platform. We would love to.
Okay, thank you very much, Alessandra. I would suggest that we stop here and that we move on with our next presentation. And if you could please stop sharing your screen.
Hi, Michael.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Hi, Michael.
Hello.
Yeah, just to inform the authors that if they have access to Slack channel, they can share their slide there. I mean, for easy dissemination and follow-up. Some other authors have already uploaded their slide there. So if you haven't done so, you can also do it. The link is in the chat section.
In the chat, yes. Thank you very much, Julius. This is very helpful. Yes. Also, for your information, dear participants, we have a link there, so please check it out, and there you can share your slides. That being said, let's continue with Marike, and here we have Odo Europa. Marike cannot talk.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now I can.
Yes,
Can you
yes,
hear
we
me?
can hear you.
Right.
Hello, hello.
So I'm here to represent the Odo Europa project. I'm not alone today. So here in this very same session, there's Raphael Troncy and Pasquale Sena, one of my two of my colleagues. But we have many, many more colleagues. Actually, we have 7 partners in 6 countries. So 2 partners in the UK. I'm one of the researchers at the Royal Netherlands Academy of Arts and Sciences Humanities cluster based in Amsterdam. I'm the project manager. We coordinate this. We have computer vision experts in Germany. We have semantic web experts in Slovenia. We have text mining experts in Italy, and text mining and semantic web experts in France. And then we have museology and history experts in the UK. We started in January. We're going to run for 3 years. So pretty fresh, not as many results yet as some of the other projects here. Yeah, we've got a lot of ambitions and milestones, but you know, that's just stats for you. Really what we want to do is we want to semantically model smell and work with museums to reconstruct smells and bring those smells to their exhibitions and create resources for historians and others to recognize or to investigate smells from all sorts of different angles by using, for example, text mining to analyze huge corpora and see if we can find references to smells and how people dealt with them and what people thought of them, but also from huge data sets of images. So for that, we thought we need an olfactory knowledge graph. Because we think what we can do there is we can interlink data from the different domains, we can really make this data reusable, make the relationships explicit. And this is, of course, very, very difficult because we also want to be dealing with data from 1600 to 1900. So we have to deal with concept drift, we have to deal with diachronic changes. It needs to be super expressive and what we call olfactory AI applications. So how do you compare a smell or 2 smells in a knowledge graph, right? What does that mean? And it's kind of interesting because perfume makers and chemists, they have vocabularies to talk about smells and compare them, but it's not formalized and not digitized. So we're very excited about this challenge. So how do we go about this? We're really at the start of this. We're designing an olfactory representation model. Actually, the first draft is there. We're also collecting specialized vocabularies. So indeed, from chemists, from perfumers that have terms. We're also gathering texts and images now that we can do this text mining and computer vision analysis on. And then when we have the computer vision and text analysis up and running, hopefully in month 18 of the project. So, well, I mean, it should be running before then, but that's when we need to deliver the first version. We're going to populate the knowledge graph and then also connect it to all the data sets from the linked Open Data Cloud that we all know and love. So we've been thinking a lot, and actually this has really been very interesting part of the project. And this is really also where I think semantic web research can make a real difference in how to think about these things. So it's been very instructive to talk to our art historians, our olfactory historians, our regular early modern historians about what does it mean to think about something as profoundly undigital as smell, and what do you need to capture in a data model in order to do something useful with it. So there are sources. What are things that smell? Practices. What are things that people do with smell? What are people involved? What are artifacts? What are places that are important to smell? So what we want to do from that is in our analyses, derive meanings and identities and storylines from that. So what does that look like? So we've got a smell, but what is a smell? I mean, if you ask a chemist, it's a bunch of molecules. If you ask a perfumer, it's a combination of various compounds. So we have, we define a generation event. So how did the smell get made? And an experience event, because we talk about smells that we experience. We smell something and then we have an opinion on it. We mention it in a book or we paint about it. So this doesn't look too complicated, but then when you start linking it to sources, it becomes a little bit more complicated. And there we do also, use standard modeling from CDOC CRM, linked art. So we're not, and provenance. Provenance is very important. So we're not just making it up ourselves as we go along. Then in a later step, we're going to figure out how can we actually visualize this, make people deal with this. So this is some just examples of olfactory vocabularies that have been there before. So scent wheels are very central to olfactory research. So we're also looking at those and also ingesting those in our model and in our knowledge graph. And they're often, you can think of these wheels, hopefully if we convert those to a network, then, or to a graph, then they're,
sorry.
1 minute, awesome, I'm almost through my slides. That gives a very interesting view, and that's also very interesting for the other partners in our project, how to think about these things. So yeah, it's very challenging, but heaps of fun. We're capturing non-digital concepts. We need to deal with change over time. We're also bringing a big network. So we have museum partners, cultural heritage partners in the project, but also a lot of people have approached us. And I think, maybe we were wrong, but we did a lot of digging, and I think we're the first ones in actually developing an olfactory semantic web data model. So maybe for you, if you're interested in this, what we have to offer is resources. So we're currently annotating data sets, we're creating this knowledge graph, putting together vocabularies and ontologies. And we really want to hear from you, what are you doing in terms of multilingual concepts?
Time is up, Marike.
Yes,
but you're almost, you're actually already done. Thank you very much. Sorry that I had to interrupt you, but we are already over 7 minutes.
Fine.
Yep. But thank you very much for your presentation, dear Marike. I have to say it is a very unique and interesting project. Actually, first time that I hearing about this kind of idea. I'm going to look in the chat. Are there any questions for Marike? We have one question here. What considerations are made in regards to the multilinguality aspect of the project, especially as it concerns alignment of terms?
As it concerns, what's the last thing?
As it concerns alignment of terms.
Oh, alignment of terms, yeah. So yeah, we're covering English, Italian, French, German, Dutch, Slovene, and Latin. So that's a lot. So most of the project partners are covering one, basically their own language. And we are looking into, connecting the terms we use to WordNet. We have experience with doing this kind of multilingual semantic mapping where we take multilingual WordNets basically and try to connect those. But of course, a lot of the terms, especially older terms, and it seems to be that people used to talk about smells a lot and had a broader vocabulary about that, are not in those WordNets. Yeah, that could be that we try to create an extension of something like that. I hope that answers your question.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Marika. It is indeed very, very interesting. It's a shame that we only have 10 minutes for each project. I would really like to have 20 minutes. I mean,
talk to me on Slack and you know where to find me.
Yeah. There's another question. What was the inspiration idea behind the project? Are there any commercialization ideas for the future, dear Marika?
Well, one part of the project that I didn't talk about is that we're also going to be creating policy documents and also guidelines for museums to put smells into their exhibitions. A bunch of our people are already working as consultants for museums in how they can bring smell into their museums, and of course we hope to create this big knowledge graph that is going to be freely available that people could use. And we have been approached by perfume makers to maybe add some background knowledge to it. We're not in it for the commercialization, but we might think about spin-offs, but since we're only half a year in, we thought let's do the work first and then think about those things.
Okay, thank you very much, Marika. That being said, I would suggest that we will do our 5-minute breaks now. For that, I wanted to share a screen with you so that you all know. There it is. Yes, I would suggest that we make a 5 minutes break now and that we continue at 15:20. So now you can, drink water, go to the toilet, and yes, we will continue then in 5 minutes. Thank you very much and see you very soon. Welcome back, dear participants. So let's wait for a couple of seconds and then we continue with Eleftherios and MUSICODE. Eleftherios is here, very nice. Hello. Eleftherios is muted, so maybe we can somehow unmute him.
Okay. Now you can hear me, correct?
Yes, Eleftherios, hello.
All right.
Very nice. So if you wish, we can continue with your project. If you want to start, then go ahead, please, and share your screen.
All right. So you can see my screen. Presentation mode. So hello everybody, my name is Eleftherios Lidorikis. I'm coming from the University of Ioannina in Greece, and it's my pleasure to present MUSICODE. It's a European project that just started 5 months ago. The title is an experimentally validated multi-scale materials, process and device modeling and design platform, enabling non-expert access to open innovation in the organic and large area electronics industry. So with this, I'm switching gear to something really in engineering. So why do we need a modeling platform? We're targeting the electronics, organic electronics industry, and in particular, printing and gas transport processes, either for printing organic photovoltaics or organic vapor deposition for OLEDs. There's many things to gain from modeling in terms of understanding, screening new materials, optimizing, improving, exploring, basically enabling virtual research and development. In order to do that, we need a modeling in multi-scale and multi-physics for materials, physical interactions, and device functionalities. So what we envision in MUSICODE is to create a unique open innovation environment. It's an open innovation platform for materials modeling. It does have integrated data management, ontology-based semantic interoperability between models, scales, etc., and of course a user-friendly workflow design tool. So we have 4 main objectives. One is to improve the modeling competencies that we have, modeling from quantum to continuum, improve, enhance the computational infrastructure for workflow design, data management, execution, etc. Cooperate and collaborate and with others, stakeholders, and exploit, of course, what we will create, and eventually use everything to demonstrate use cases in OPVs, organic photovoltaics, and organic light emitting diodes with real industrial examples. So these are the 4 main objectives of the project. If I may show the main concept, the center thing here is a data management system. Let's call it data layer, with the links to outside marketplaces, businesses and support systems, open innovation environments, etc. Python tools switch you to the user layer where you can design workflows, template them, etc. This is for the expert user. Once you have data and workflows, you can go to the multi-physics integration framework where different models from quantum to continuum can run, and MUPIF can actually facilitate their execution to different high-performance computing centers across different countries and different places in Europe. And of course, having the data, having the results, you can go back to the user layer where you can visualize, analyze the results, optimize, make decisions, etc. So it's a complete innovation environment, and ontology basically is the key for the different layers to communicate with each other, and of course the different models to communicate with each other. So what type of data we need here? So we're simulating all the way from electronic interactions between organic materials to the mesoscale with microstructure evolution, charge transport for the molecules, fluid dynamics for the actual fabrication processes, and of course, continuum simulation of the devices and the modules that you want to optimize, understand, and simulate. Semantics are really important here. We aim for a semantic connection between the data and the applications, the code that we're using. So replace the traditional syntactic way. We're starting now. We're going to start from MMO and then derive our use cases, our ontologies for the organic and large area electronics. It's critical to collaborate with similar projects, so we're really looking forward to collaboration with similar projects that are more experienced in semantics and ontologies. Critical is to have a database that can support this, so the ontology we will develop, we will be mapped into the database with a database schema. We're looking at ontologies for atoms, molecules, grains, layers, and devices, going from the lowest scale all the way up to the highest, the device, and of course, ontology for workflow, workflow templates, execution, etc. All of this together, we aim to provide a complete semantic-based data and service APIs, and keep these ontology mappings, represented with metadata along the whole simulation chain and optimization and visualization chain. So this is an example. This is what we have now created. This work in progress, of course, as a molecular ontology, as it is visualized in Protege, and through the database schema that we have created, this is how it will be represented in the database. So these are interchangeable. Also critical is to have a modeling workflow design tool where you can drag and place model nodes and also data nodes going from one place to the other. And this, will be working with semantics. So this is how we envision the user experience here. A user from industry comes in, he has certain questions, he designs a workflow. The process goes into the database and into the integration framework. All the different scales are run sequentially, coming down to the final result that you want with the actual material properties, everything backed by multi-scale characterization. So everything is really validated. And then you get the result of the device, and then you end up with being able to design and produce improved devices. So we have our industrial users to validate what we create, the people, the companies that we create, the actual user interface.
Okay, Eleftherios, please finish the slide, and then we.
Then these are we are basically 11 partners from different parts in Europe. We just started, and please find us in email or websites, etc.
Social media accounts. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Eleftherios. Yes, very nice, very nice. Maybe if you like, you can show the either this slide or the slide before, so that the people, the attendees, have the chance to have a look at it. Good. Okay. Question time. In terms of collaboration, what do you expect from potential partners, dear Eleftherios?
So, really is what would be an appropriate way to use ontologies and semantics. What is the best way to align with other projects so that what we create is compatible with other ontologies being created. We do plan to have a complete business proposal at the end of the project, with this platform being a commercial proposition, being linked to marketplaces, etc., and the other marketplaces developed. So mostly we're looking for proper ways to conduct and develop the ontologies that we're going to be using, and the tools, APIs to connect to other platforms.
Another question, why a relational database? Do you plan to use ontology-based data access such as ONTOP?
So we're not sure exactly how deep and how high level ontology we're going to be using. We definitely want to have semantic relations between all the data and how we exchange the data, transfer data from one scale to the other, from one model to the other, from database to the execution layer. What type of ontologies eventually we will create, it is something that we are looking forward to discover. As I said, we just started 5 months ago, so we are now in the beginning of the project. So this is still open for us.
Okay, and last question, maybe a bit quicker because we're already running out of time. The ontology you designed in Protégé, has it been used anywhere? If yes, how did you do that?
No, this is just basically the last 2 weeks work where we defined the semantic description for a molecule and the atom. And we try to see how it looks in Protégé and how it maps through a schema into the database. So it's not shown or put anywhere else. It's just very recent that we're looking how it looks.
Okay, thank you very much, Eleftherios. Also a very interesting project and presentation. Yes, thank you very much. Next on our list is Beatrice and the 4CH project. So Beatrice, the floor is yours. Beatrice Markov.
Can you try unmute? Okay, yeah.
Thank you. I was not able to unmute. So now I share my screen.
Thank you very much.
Is it okay?
Yes, if you can make it bigger, it's also nice. Yeah, very good.
Okay. So hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Just before you continue, I think you are using a system with 2 desktops, so you are sharing the wrong one, I guess. You want to share the different one, the other one, yeah.
Okay.
Because it is showing us with the speaker's note as well. You just want to share the screen that's the main slide.
Okay, but I don't see now. No more.
Just click on View, Beatrice, View in the top bar. View. Okay. Yes, or Beatrice, if you like, I can also share the screens, the slides for you if you wish.
Okay, I prefer.
Okay, so this is the 4CH project. I will open it. I hope that these are the correct slides.
You're not sharing your screen, Michael.
Okay, yes, 1 sec, please.
Okay.
Wait a sec. Okay. There you go. So there it is. You can see the slides now, right?
Thank
Hello?
you.
Yep,
yes.
Beatrice.
Yes,
Is it okay?
It's okay, yes. So I'm presenting the 4CH project, which is just starting for 3 years and aims to build a competence center for the conservation of cultural heritage. And what motivated this project, second slide, is first that cultural heritage is one important piece of what we can share with each others, and it may be exposed to various dangers as listed here, in particular due to climate changes. And digital technologies can be used to mitigate the risks and remediate their effects, but there is a need to centralize the good practices and tools for sharing them, disseminate them, and make them actually usable and reusable by others. The objectives are to provide a framework able to foster collaboration between institutions and to facilitate a full use of data collected for the preservation of monuments and sites. 19 partners are involved. The project grew out of the results of another project called Inception. It is led by the INFM Cultural Heritage Network together with the PIN at Prato. Several enterprises and scholar institutions participate from 13 countries. It's an interdisciplinary collaboration ranging from physicians to archaeologists. Next slide, I'm on the, sorry. Next, okay. Again, next, please.
Slide 4, right?
Yes, I've already talked about this slide, so I'm on the fifth slide. Okay,
please tell me next if I should switch the slides.
Yes,
thank you.
Sure, sorry. What particularly concerns the semantic web community in this project is this focus on the notion of digital twins. A digital twin is a virtual replica of an actual entity, which can be queried by softwares without the need of accessing to the actual entity. So that's the definition. And we can see that it requires to have not only a representation of the entity itself, let's say, for instance, here a church, but also its surrounding, its content, the current one and the past ones, its history, etc. And when we get all these various models and data, we also need to represent their relationships. So digital twins must rely on a robust and rich semantic description. Next, please. And more generally, the project will build on the Inception methodology for 3D modeling and also on several solutions for managing results of analysis, models, reports, documentations, and for exploiting these data. There are also standards, ontologies, and vocabularies that will be reused and extended for creating a core knowledge base, because this knowledge base will provide the context for linking the digital twins with their environment and also to each other. Next, please. So this is a big picture of what is intended to be in the 4CH knowledge base, both for human and machine consumptions. Each of these different kinds of information and points of views about monuments and sites will be conceptually represented with ontologies and vocabularies based on the semantic web principle that led to the linked open data cloud, with one more very important objective, which is usable. The linked, let's say the linked open and usable web of data. So next, this is the reason why I thought it was important to present 4CH to the ESWC community. We aim to collaborate with other projects to the creation of a European Cultural Heritage Common data space, really usable by all. And we, of course, I've already learned many things in this conference. It was a pleasure for me to listen to Jacob Bill's talk at the DIT workshop last Sunday. I also enjoyed very much the problem to solve before you die session yesterday about the multiple voices to be kept about an heritage artifact. So all these things are very interesting. Next, please. So the choice in 4CH is to organize the ontology around a core CRM 4CH on a CDOC CRM basis because the partners well know the CDOC. They already use it for what it is, a high-level framework for data integration. There already exist many extensions of the CDOC that will be reused, and new ones will be devised or incorporated. For instance,
Beatrice, you have 1 more minute. Sorry.
Thanks. For instance, with my colleagues, we are currently working with architects within a French national project on designing an heritage architecture ontology with its commented vocabulary, mainly taken from the French book Le vocabulaire de l'architecture de Pérouse de Monclos. And it could be reused and completed later on for 4CH. So in this slide, it's important also to notice that the knowledge base will be used as an aggregator. We don't want to centralize in everything. And most of the data will be at the data owner's side and the processing at the edges of the cloud. So next slide, please. It's the last one.
Okay, Beatrice, I would suggest that we wrap up now. I will show the last slide, and then we will give the others the opportunity to ask questions.
Yes, it's okay. It was just a little bit more precise about the ontology, but it's okay.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, but yeah, we 7 minutes are over now, unfortunately. But yeah, we can show the slide, and the participants may ask their questions now. So I will try to chat. Okay, so here we have the questions for the what are the stakeholder groups that contribute to the project?
Well, as I said quickly on slide 4, there are archaeologists, the PIN at Prato. It's a team of archaeologists coming from the Ariane Plus project, also a European project, and the people from the Inception project. And for presenting all the teams, I cannot, because it's a project that begins and I don't really know all the partners. I'm sorry. I'm not the leader of the project. So. Okay.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Okay.
There are physicists in Portugal, physicians, sorry, in Portugal. And I thought of them when I saw the previous presentation.
Okay, thank you, Beatrice. Are there more questions to Beatrice, dear participants? Okay. Good. If there are no.
I forgot to put my camera. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. It's okay. Okay. Good. Beatrice, thank you very much for your presentation. I will.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. Yes. Maybe this slide here as well. So here, I assume are the website and your email address for our participants, for your information. So thank you very much, Beatrice. Since there are no more questions for you, we can continue with the next presentation. And this is Valentina Presutti. I will stop sharing my screen. Sorry. Okay, yeah. Now, good. Good, Valentina, the floor is yours. Hello.
Okay, thanks. Let me share my screen first. Not this one. Okay, so can you see my screen? Is it the right one?
Yes, we can see it.
Are you seeing the presenter or the right?
Yeah, it's the auto screen, so you need to swap your screen maybe.
Better?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I will talk to you about Polyphonia, which is a project that started in January, so it's pretty young. We don't have much results yet, so I'm telling you more about our goals and plans, although there is already some resources that you can see, share, we are already sharing. In these slides, you can hopefully collect all the links that you need for starting following us, joining us, and there is the GitHub repository. And of course, I would like to invite you to follow us on Twitter and look at our website where we also share information and advances. The project is planned to last 40 months. We have 10 partners. There are cultural institutions, computer scientists from academia, as well as musicologists and historian of music from academia as well. It's a very interdisciplinary consortium. So we have, it's a very ambitious project. What we want to do, I'll explain our objectives through a few examples. We want to support institutions, digital cultural heritage and memory institutions, as well as music providers to exploit at best the value that they have hidden in their content, in their digital content. So we want them to be able to make better business with it, or better enhancing the value and the content of the cultural heritage that they own and manage, musical heritage. We want to enable as well data-driven policies for cultural heritage institutions. At the same time, we want to impact on the citizens as well, by providing the novel ways of disseminating cultural heritage so that they can become more aware of the complexity and variety of musical heritage. And we want to support researchers. We want to create resources and applications for them because we want to support their research methods and actually push their research methodologies towards a more scientific, data-driven approach. What I mean is that we want to enable for them to use large-scale analysis of data, because now they mainly do manual inspection of specific catalogs and dataset. In short, we want to impact on and support studying, managing, interacting with, and preserving musical heritage knowledge. And how do we do that? We do this by, so we will, our research will be driven by 10 pilots, which address all these 4 dimensions differently. Of course, I don't have the time to go into details, but on the website you can find additional information on them. And of course, you can also contact me. How do we do this? Well, we have, we want to build a knowledge graph. Actually, we want to build many knowledge graphs that will be interconnected. And we want to do this by starting from heterogeneous sources. So our musical heritage is encoded in many different types of sources, such as text, and this text can be of many styles. So we can have the perspective of politicians, artists, intellectuals, critics, and generic peoples in different texts, spanning and covering different places and times, so meaning multilingual and diachronic dimensions. We have also, of course, sounds, audio contents, and we have symbolic notations for music. So we will basically, so what Polyphonia is working on is to develop novel knowledge extraction methods, leveraging, of course, also on existing ones, to extract from these different sources to discover hidden patterns that may reveal unexpected links between music related content, and this means relating different music traditions between them in terms of, for example, potential influences that have been there for different at different times and different places and different music traditions, but also to the social and historic context through stories and other things that can be extracted from text. Of course, we want to impact beyond our consortium, and this is what we are doing, is that we have already started building our stakeholders network. There is Alberto Meronio, who is here actually in the audience with me, who is one of the member of the Polyphonia team who is leading this task. So he's the right person to contact if you think you have a use case or any, or if you just want to be updated and be part of our stakeholders network. If you have use cases, you want to be an early adopter,
1 minute
you want
left.
to bring, I know, thanks. You want to bring new resources and potential links. There are many activities that we plan that can be of interest for possible networking, from training for young teenagers, for example, to artistic installation and novel ways of building open artistic installations. To conclude, I just renew the invitation to join us. There are all these references, or to visit our GitHub. One thing we have already achieved in terms of networking is that the Audio Europa and Polyphonia have teamed up, and there will be a first workshop on multisensory data and knowledge at LDK in early September. So maybe some of you may be interested in attending it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Punctually, very well done, Valentina. Good. Okay. That being said, are there any questions from your side? So, what do you expect from potential stakeholders? Any requirements they should fulfill, or how could they benefit from the project? You are muted. Valentina, you are muted.
Yeah, I couldn't unmute. So,
okay.
Can you repeat, please?
What do you expect from potential stakeholders? Any requirements they should fulfill, or how could they benefit from the project?
Well, Albert may intervene if he thinks he has anything to add. Well, we don't have requirements. What we look for is mainly, organizations, researchers, anybody, any agent, let's say, that thinks that they can have either a use case, so helping us in extending our understanding of the requirements that we may address with our data and applications that we develop. Also in terms of interaction, for example, which is one of the key parts of our developments as well. I mentioned, of course, the knowledge graph and the AI tools. I forgot to emphasize that we work a lot on interaction as well. And on the other end, early adopters as well. So like if you, for example, in my opinion, the Cleopatra and the 4CH projects that I heard today, I think there we may have some link. So certainly I think we should try and know what happens in each other project. But also individual organizations, again, there's not a requirement, but the interest in either adopting our technologies, testing it, that would be very, very welcome, or helping us in extending our understanding of the requirements. I don't know, Albert, if you want to add anything. If you can unmute him, that would be great.
Who should be unmuted?
Albert Meronio.
Albert Meronio.
Like
okay, maybe saying it's okay.
Yeah, now it works. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to emphasize what Valentina just said. So what we're looking for in stakeholders is either the fact that you are the collection holders, or either textual collections or musical score collections that have an intrinsic need for integration using knowledge graphs and semantic technologies, or whether you have unsolved competency questions, or you're interested in being early adopters of the technology that Valentina explained.
Very nice. We have 30 seconds left, so maybe very briefly, are there any plans in terms of exploitation and sustainability for the project in future?
Well, it's a bit early, but of course we are working at our plan for sustainability and exploitation. Now we are mainly focusing on dissemination and communication, but I'm already working with some institutions to make sure that our data are hosted in an infrastructure that can survive beyond the project. And there is an interest. What I can say is that there is, at least in Bologna and the region of Emilia-Romagna, there is interest in, so they are planning to support this type of projects, especially in music-related projects. So we have already some good options.
Okay, very nice. Thank you very much. I would suggest that we will do our next short break now, and that we continue at punctually 16 CEST. So
can I ask one thing, Fribus? Is there? Do you plan to share with the participants like a list of contacts? So maybe,
yes. We
because there's not a lot of time to discuss and interact, and as this is meant to be a networking, so it would be good if we can catch up later.
We plan to share all the presentations after the session, and Giulio has kindly shared the link in the chat, which we can use to upload our slides, but I will also share them via email. And we will also share the recorded video with all of you after the session.
Yeah, just to add to that, Michael, the conversation is actually going on the Slack channel. So even the questions that are not asked here, you can actually ask there, and the speakers are responding to it. So yeah, everybody you can say.
Okay, good. Then let's do our break now, and we continue at 16. Then thank you very much, and see you later. say that we will wait for a couple of more seconds. And Alina can start with her presentation. Okay, very nice. So, Alina, do you want to continue with your presentation now? We can maybe unmute Alina. Is Alina now I don't know why you cannot hear me. Hello? Ah, yes. There you go. So can we maybe unmute Alina? We cannot hear Alina. I don't know why. One sec. One sec, please, Alina.
Yeah, I think now it
there
works.
You go.
Right?
Okay, very nice. Okay.
Can you just confirm that you can see my screen? Does it work?
Yes, Alina, it works. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be part of this very nice session today and getting to know you and all your projects. I'm Alina, working at Leibniz University Hannover as project manager and business developer for EU Age 2020 projects, such as Media Futures. And first of all, Media Futures is part of the STARTS ecosystem. And STARTS is an initiative of the European Commission to foster alliances between alliances of science, technology, and the arts, which means STARTS, to implement a European approach to technological innovation, which are based on human needs and human values. What is Media Futures and what is the background of our project? So for several years, we are facing challenges like filter bubbles, misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, and many, many more, which take place online. So the role of media is changing and also extremely discussed as our public opinion is increasingly formed online, where the content is often optimized for clicks rather than it is balanced for information exchange, which is based on facts. And the project Media Futures is funded by the European Commission under Horizon 2020. And it started last year in September 2020. And Media Futures is a transnational European data innovation hub, which brings together startups, SMEs, and artists from the media value chain. And we are aiming to create or support products and services or digital artworks that will reshape or redefine the media value chain through the innovative use of data and to support user-generated content. Here you see our project partners, and within our project, we are bringing together 10 partners from 6 European countries, namely Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and the UK. And based on our background, we have a multidisciplinary expertise and complementary expertise in running data entrepreneurship and also media initiatives. And we are, of course, respecting the legal requirements and principles which are set by the EU, ensuring transparency and inclusivity. As I said before, our project is looking for artists and startups to redefine the media value chain. And during the project, the project runs for 3 years until August 2023. And until this time, we are supporting in total 51 startups and 43 artists in a total of 3 open calls. So these are our, let's say, application rounds or application phase. And in total, we are distributing an amount of 2.5 million euro. And we are supporting these selected applicants within a 6-month acceleration program. So we have this acceleration program for startups and SMEs and a residency program for artists. And both programs, so the acceleration and the residency, is including funding, mentoring, training, and networking, of course. Yeah, we are funding or looking forward to have many products, services, and artworks transforming the way people are consuming news and people are engaging with facts or also fakes. So as we have oftentimes now online in our social media channels, which comes along our way. And we want to support experts who are making decisions and contribute to society. And such products and services, so the startups and artists can be considered as pilots with their ideas, and they should use data and AI, so artificial intelligence, to support, for example, high quality journalism, science education, and also digital citizenship. Besides funding, we are mainly offering technical and legal support, data resources, so the basis for their projects, mentorship. We have dedicated mentors and advisors in our project, training sessions, peer learning methods, networking, and of course, marketing, promotion, and the dissemination of the projects, so of the startups and artists and their ideas through events and communities like, for example, today. And in total, we have 3 tracks to apply for. First of all, this is the Startups for Citizens track called SFC, which is an accelerator program for media startups and SMEs. We have Artists for Media, our AFM track, which is an artist residency program. And we have the mixed track, so to say, the Startup Meets Artist track, where we are supporting joint projects and collaborations between startups, SMEs, and artists on the other hand. So we are bringing them together. Here you see an overview of our tracks and phases and the respective funding. So we have 3 phases in total during the acceleration and residency program, which are the start, build, and exhibit phase. And,
1 minute, Alina.
Yeah, thank you. And they sum up to 6 months in total. And the overall funding sum, which I mentioned before, is, let's say, splitted through these phases, and the payments are linked to the project success and to regular progress meetings with our mentors and advisors. Just to have a look at our first open call, we identified 4 challenges for the first open call: viral complexity, building bridges, the new mediators, and an open challenge. And while the first 3 challenges are linked to the specific topic around COVID and coronavirus and misinformation around COVID, the open challenge was not tied to COVID, and we ensured therefore more flexibility and creativity to come up with other innovative ideas. A quick overview about our first open call. So the call in numbers, let's say, we received 133 applications from more than 30 countries. And it was a very successful open call. And the second open call will be launched in autumn this year, so stay tuned. And many thanks for your attention. And if you are interested in more info or in networking or any project collaboration, please make sure to follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter. We have a very nice website to visit, or you can also contact me directly. So feel free to reach out, and many thanks.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you. On time. Very nice. Good. Then let's start with the questions. So first question that I can see here is, what is the difference between misinformation and disinformation, dear Alina?
Yeah. Well, good question. So they are often used as synonyms, or yeah, which is misleading in some cases, let's say. Basically, misinformation is yeah, false or misleading content which is shared online, for example, but without the harmful intent. So this is when people share false information with friends and family, but in good faith, let's say. So this is simply yeah, misleading content, but without the intent to share it. While disinformation is false or misleading content which is spread with a real intention to deceive or to secure economic or political gain, for example, and which is often linked to public harm, or which raises public harm. And we have a lot of examples for this. And yeah, this is basically the main difference. So the intention to share or to not share false or misleading information.
Mm-hmm. And the second question that I can see here is, what is special about the mixed track, SMA?
SMA, right. So this is the Startup Meets Artist track, where we are basically supporting teams. So teams consisting of, the one hand, a startup, and on the other hand, an artist or an artistic company. And they are together developing new concepts of data technology and arts. So a new form of collaboration, which is very new in this industry. And yeah, these projects are developed by the startup, and the selected artists and startups will go to the start phase, and yeah, entering then the build phase, hopefully. And this is all followed by dedicated pitch sessions where they can present their ideas and yeah, get throughout the whole training session, they get mentors, advice, and yeah, support in all of their questions. And this is mainly the idea behind our mixed track, so to have this new form of collaboration.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Alina, for your very interesting presentation. Then I would suggest that we move on with our next candidate. And this is Garrett and the TRUSTS project. So Alina, could you please stop sharing your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Garrett kindly has requested me to share his slides, which I will, of course, do. Garrett, are you here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect.
Okay, good. I will then share the slides. Share. So now we can see your presentation. And if you are ready, then please start now.
Yes, thank you very much, Michael. I would like to thank you and the ESWC for providing the opportunity to present TRUST within this format. Yes, so the next slide, please. All right, let's jump right into it. TRUST stands for Trusted Secure Data Sharing Space and is an innovation action by the European Commission to address the needs of data sharing spaces, the data markets, and the data economy. The project started in January 2020 and has a duration of 3 years and is coordinated by the Leibniz University Hannover with its L3S Research Center. We have a multidisciplinary consortium with partners from Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, Belgium, Israel, Greece, Cyprus, Spain, and Romania. Next, please. The TRUST partners identified these 3 high-level challenges that impede the growth of the data market economy. The first one being that there is a lack of trusted and secure platforms and privacy-aware analytic methods for secure sharing of personal data. Second, the proprietary and commercial industrial data hampers the creation of data market and data economy by limiting data sharing mostly to open data. The third challenge would be that there is an overwhelming amount of diverging technical standards, quality levels, and legal aspects. So if data markets are limited to mostly open data, the business impact is not going to be very high. There's a real need for trusted and secure platforms that enable sharing of personal data as well as proprietary, commercial, and industrial data in a secure way, and in a way that complies with relevant laws and regulations. And well, due to the abundance of laws and regulations, the different technical standards and quality levels within the EU will impact the interoperability of data markets, and it is rather limited due to that. Within TRUST, we therefore aim to address these key challenges. Next, please. As the name suggests, we would like to reinstate trust in the data economy. We want to achieve this by developing our platform, building on the experience of two large national projects, namely the Data Market Austria and IDSA. The final goal we want to achieve is to establish a fully operational, GDPR-compliant European data marketplace for personal and industrial use. And it is envisioned that the platform works by itself as a platform, but also as a platform federator in order to allow integration of other platforms as well. Beyond this, it is quite important to build a legal and ethical framework to address all legal and ethical issues along the data value chain in order to cover all transactions from data owners, consumers, etc., from start until end. Next one, please. So, the Data Market Austria is a lighthouse project which has invested quite a lot of effort to establish a data services ecosystem in Austria by, first of all, advancing technology foundations for secure data markets and cloud interoperability. And second, also creating an environment that encourages data-centered innovation with the involvement of many SMEs, companies, and other innovation stakeholders at Austrian level. We do have 3 partners that are involved in this project, and that includes Research Studio Austria, who coordinated the project, Know Center, and the Semantic Web Company. Next one, please. On the other hand, we have IDSA in our consortium. The International Data Spaces is an initiative aimed at creating a secure cross-domain data space that enables companies across industries and of all sizes to sovereignly manage the data assets. It establishes and enables peer-to-peer global dynamic data and business transactions between participants all across domains, sectors, and industries, which is based in European values. Next one, please. So, based on these 2 data markets, we work towards 2 key innovations, aside from the TRUSTS platform itself, that is. And on the one hand, we work out a solid legal and ethical framework for the TRUSTS platform to ensure sustainability and compliance with all relevant regulations and ethic principles. At the same time, ensuring business impact is also very important as well. So, which is why we focus a lot of our resources on establishing a sustainable business model and a business plan which includes products and service portfolio, clear pricing, billing, and so on for the TRUSTS platform, supported by a wide-reaching data innovation environment. So we really want to enable flourishing, the flourishing of the data economy in Europe here. Next one. So the nature of the project is very practical, and by the end of the project, we want to have a up and running platform which is fully operational. Therefore, we developed the platform based around practical, business-oriented use cases. The first one focuses on anti-money laundering compliance. The second one is about agile marketing through data correlation. And the third one is all about data acquisition to improve customer support services. Yes, thank you. The use cases focus on the banking, telecommunication, and ICT sectors, and we do have strong partners supporting us in each of the use cases. In all of these use cases, we work with mixed data, meaning we work with personal data and industrial non-personal data. And in that regard, we need to achieve a balance between many frameworks, standards, and requirements between stakeholders who each have their own privacy rights, business model, and therefore also their own interest. And achieving this balance is a major challenge of the use cases. Next one, please, last slide. So I would like to thank all of you for your time and attention, and would like to end this presentation by inviting all of you to connect with me. If you would like to find out more about TRUSTS, or if you have any other collaboration opportunities in mind, make sure to get in touch with me via LinkedIn or email. Also make sure to follow us on Twitter or LinkedIn to find out more about TRUSTS. And now I'm happy to answer some of your questions.
Thank you very much, Garrett. On time, punctually. Very nice. Very well done. Good. Okay. Then question time. First question we have here. Could you share more about what you are practically doing in the use cases?
Sure. Can you go back one slide to the use cases, please?
Yeah, one sec.
Slide. Yeah.
One sec. This one.
Exactly, yeah. So sure, yeah, the use cases are meant to really test the technology to the market. Our first use case focuses on the detection of financial crime, and more specifically anti-money laundering. And here we look and work on the design and development of adaptive analytics algorithms directed towards real-time transaction-based anomaly detection. We furthermore work on advanced self-learning analytics models based on risk scores focused in anti-money laundering and continuous monitoring of anomalous behavior and suspicious activity detection. And the second use case focuses more on marketing activities at a local level. We work with big data analytics and see how they can be integrated in the platform and how they can provide timely and meaningful insights targeting customers. And here we work with GDPR anonymized CRM data, and the services offered by the TRUSTS platform are anonymization protection from de-anonymization attacks, data valuation and correlation, and analytics for marketing. And in our third use case, we use big financial data, but here we have more the element of human-computer interaction, and more specifically on robot advisors and chatbots that serve as automated assistants to help customers manage their debt, for example. So the business impact in this case, well, it focuses more on scalable wealth management services aside from the usual anonymization and data market, data protection services within this domain.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 40 seconds left. Maybe very quickly, if it's possible, can you give more insights on the business impacts of the platform?
Sure, I make it quick. I think some of them have been mentioned in the use cases, but one of the main business impacts that the platform brings is fairness and transparency. And in this regard, we work towards realistic business models that are customizable and self-sustainable, that encourage participation among a wide and diverse spectrum of stakeholders in the data market. In our cases, we are trying to show that via our use cases and our platform.
Okay, very nice. Thank you very much, Garrett, for your presentation. I will then continue with the very last presentation, and this is going to be the Platoon project. So I will share my slides very soon. One sec, please.
Is it the same author?
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
One sec, please.
That is fine, but presenters, please don't forget to upload your slide on the Slack channel. If you are having issue accessing it, you can message me. We'll have that sorted out for you so that you're able to upload it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, good. Then I will share my screen. I hope you can see it now. Okay, very nice. So then we're going to start with the last project, and it is the Platoon project, which is called Digital Platform and Analytic Tools for Energy. And without further ado, we will start with the first slide. So as I already told you, this is the name of the project and the acronym. It is an EU-funded H2020 project that has started last year in January 2020 and will end in next December 2022. So next year's 3 years project. And the project itself has its focus on the digitalization of the renewable energy sector. The main aim of the project is to digitalize the European energy sector via a digital platform and analytics tools, as the name says it. So that means that we are aiming to develop an energy-specific cosmic compliant reference architecture specifically for energy-related big data. That means, for example, that we are developing IDS connectors enabling multi-party data exchange. Thus, we ensure, for example, data governance and data sovereignty, meaning that in the end, we want to increase the renewable energy share of the total energy consumption of the European countries. We want to improve the smart grids management, and we also want to increase the energy efficiency of, for example, power plants, of those same smart grids, etc. And also we want to optimize the energy asset management. Our consortium consists of 20 different partners from 9 different countries. These you can all see on the map here. So our countries where Platoon is represented is Spain, France, Belgium, Germany, Poland, Switzerland, Italy, Slovenia, and Serbia. And here on the same map you can see our on the one hand, our pilot projects, which I will explain more in detail later. And on the other hand, we have here the different partners that are participating in Platoon. And our consortium consists of energy utilities, service companies, universities, research centers, one accelerator, and more. So we can provide a broad expertise here. Now about the pilots. The project will be validated in 7 pilots in 5 different countries that provide real energy big data cases. So for example, in Belgium, we have the predictive maintenance of wind farms. In Serbia, we cover the electricity balance and predictive maintenance of grids. In Spain, we have a pilot on energy grid stability, connectivity, and life extension. Then we have more pilots in, for example, Italy, where we have the advanced energy management system and spatial multi-scale predictive models in the smart city. We have the energy management of microgrids, also an Italian pilot. Then we have an office building pilot in France. And we have an energy efficiency pilot and predictive maintenance, where we also cover the predictive maintenance in the smart tertiary building upgrade, which is also in Spain. In the Platoon project, we also have the so-called open calls. So Platoon will facilitate the technology transfer into the market by well-established tendering processes called open calls. So the first one took place during this year. It was from January to March this year. We had back then 96 successful applications and 6 winners in total. And the second open call will take place in autumn this year, and more info on that will follow very soon. Platoon collaborates with Bridge and BDVA, so thanks to Alexandra Garazzoggiani, who is the communication and dissemination lead. Thanks to her, Platoon is collaborating with Big Data Value Association, BDVA, and Bridge Horizon 2020. Then I wanted to encourage you to please visit our website as well as our social media accounts. So maybe a few words on what me, myself, and Alexandra, my manager, are doing. We are leading the communication and dissemination work package in Platoon, meaning that we take care of that same website, of the social media accounts. We are launching many different kinds of marketing activities, and that is our expertise. This is what we offer. That being said, this is our contact site. So this is Alexandra Garazzoggiani, which is the communication dissemination lead. This is me, myself. I'm the deputy. And please feel free to connect with us. Please feel free to follow Platoon on Twitter, on LinkedIn. There are a lot of interesting things going on. And also please feel free to contact us via email as well. That being said, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for being very patiently, and now we have actually reached the end. So if you have any questions to me, please feel free to ask. Good. Okay, the first question is, which stakeholder groups can profit from the digital platform and analytic tools developed and tested in Platoon? Very interesting question. I can tell you that there are two perspectives on this. So as you all know, now Platoon is about the digitalization of the energy sector, and the energy sector itself is interlinked with, I would say, almost, if not all, industries that came to your mind. So that means without energy, the transport sector cannot function, the IT sector cannot function without energy, and also the prominent automobile industry in Germany could also not function without energy. Therefore, in the broader sense, every industry could profit from the findings in Platoon. But in the narrower sense, there are specific companies that can profit directly and in a much more extent from the findings in the Platoon project, that are, for example, the constructors of wind farms, solar power developers, but also IT companies that have something to do with the tools and the data platform that we are providing. And yes, I hope that could answer your question to an extent. And the next question is, what are the requirements for the second Platoon open call that the applicants need to consider? So as I told you, the second Platoon open call will, maybe I can go one slide back if that's possible. So the second Platoon open call will take place in this open, and the exact requirements are going to be shared soon. But I can tell you that, for example, in the first open call, we had a total budget of 2 million euros. So that was the, I would say, pot of money. And the winners of the open calls, which were, so we had 6 winners, they could receive up to 150,000 euros per project maximum, if I'm not mistaken. So I would suggest you to please watch our social media channels. Please stay tuned, and there you will receive all the information that you need. That being said, we have finished all presentations. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much for listening to Platoon. And now we are a little bit over the scheduled time, but if you wish, we can maybe have a short feedback discussion, and you can share your thoughts and questions and ideas directly. Maybe I would suggest that we can unmute all now, if that's possible.
Yeah, so now the setting has changed, so anybody that want to talk can unmute themselves. They don't have to
Okay,
request.
good. Yeah. So please feel free to contribute. Floor is yours.
Just one general note. I just wrote it in the chat. I saw that some people had problems sharing their slide via Slack. So maybe if you can just maybe share the slides with Michael directly. I also had some problem entering Slack. Maybe Michael, I can just again send you the slides and you can share them with Julius.
Yes, sure. I actually have all the presentations here, but yes, I think this idea is good. Please feel free to contact me directly. I will post my email directly into the chat and we'll share it with all of you.
Perfect.
Okay, so please feel free to send the slides to me directly and I will send it. Okay, are there anybody who wants to provide his or her feedback to us? Feedback, ideas, wishes, concerns?
Well, maybe for, I think, it was super interesting to hear all the presentations, but there wasn't really much time to interact. And, maybe that's also the Zoom format. And if we go back to face-to-face conferences, this will be different, but yeah, I think that would have been nice as well, but there's only so much you can do in this time span, so I also appreciate that, but maybe there's shorter presentations or something to think of there for future events.
Yes, Marike, you are actually absolutely right on that. I also, as I told you earlier, have wished that we would have more time, but we received the 2-hour slot from the hosts, and therefore we did the best what we could do and tried to present every project that were willing to present themselves. But in general, this is a good idea. Maybe we can think about integrating this for the next time. Good. Any other ideas?
I agree with Marike, but nevertheless, in the chat, there were some requests already from one project to another. So there seem to be some potentials for collaboration, and hope that we can reach out bilaterally or multilaterally if there are some collaboration potentials. But I think it worked very well also with the chat, and I'm sure we will reach out to, so we received a few questions, and of course we will reach out to all of you and try to get the most out of the session today.